Hi guys, I'm Viv.
And I'm Joe.
And in this video we will kind of answer the question that we received, which is if it affected us as a couple to have a baby and how having a baby did affect our relationship or not. And also a lot of people ask us, what do we do to
bond and still have some time together and
take care of each other.
Yeah. And our relationship really, when we have no time to take care of anything really.
So we will answer in this video these questions.
Yeah, so first of all, it does affect your relationship.
It does.
Like you have another human living with you, you know, and I think the biggest thing that happened to us is that we always lived together and we always spent like 24/7
together.
24/7 with each other.
And we as a couple are very close and we are very emotional with each other, and we always, since the beginning, I guess our relationship works for us because we always prioritized each other. So I always prioritize Joe and she always prioritizes me, and obviously when you have a baby,
you both prioritize the baby.
Yeah, you will both prioritize the baby. You can't even prioritize yourself sometimes. There's less time. I think that's it. There's less time. We still obviously love each other very much, but we have a baby, and now we have to take care of this baby. And I don't know if you guys follow us over on Instagram, but there we speak more about how our baby had colics and has this condition called hypertonia, and that caused her to be a little bit fussy, and so she wasn't like the easiest baby. We
never had those like moments where we could put her down for a nap and she would nap for an hour and we would have this hour to ourselves. No, she would only contact nap and she would only sleep on us for first months. So we really had absolutely zero time for anything. We were struggling to make food or do laundry or just maintain
everything.
life.
We struggle to maintain even the basis of our life. We struggle, and that's our reality. So that's what we are sharing. We are not saying that every baby is like this, but ours is like this, and we love her so much, and obviously we want her to thrive and to be a happy baby. So our attention was 100% on her, and until we had all these things figured out. But we did struggle in the beginning. We struggled even as individuals, and we really struggled in the first 3 months. And I don't think we even talked about it. It was just something that
we had no time to even discuss it, or to be oh, are you struggling? What are we struggling about? What can we do? We had no time to sit down and really take a moment to be what can we do to make it easier?
Yeah, to make it easier, to stay connected more. I think sometimes I would tell you I miss you, and you would tell me I miss you too, or you would say I miss you, and we would feel okay, the other person is feeling the same, but we really didn't have time to do anything else.
And it's such a weird feeling because on one hand you are together all the time. It's not like we miss seeing each other because we are together. We just miss this quality time we had to give to each other, and I think we really had to learn how to communicate effectively, so we don't have to take a lot of time talking. We really started to be very straightforward with I need this and I need that, or I'm feeling this, or you can help me doing this. There's no really
I need this
time
from you
to beat around the bush. You really have to go straight into I am super tired, could you do this for me? And I will do something for you later so you can have your time as well.
Yeah, so that's what kind of we did to still take care of each other. And
I think the breaking point for us was Ivy turning 3 months, and we for the first time left
the colics were
getting better. We left her for 3 hours with my parents and we went out on a date.
It was our first date. And
it was like for the New
alone.
Year's, few days before the New Year's, and we were like, we're gonna celebrate the New Year's and we're gonna go out alone and like go out for a dinner and really talk. And we had this like 3 hours of undivided attention to connect and to be like, okay, this is clearly very difficult for both of us. What can we do to make it easier?
And I think this was the first time that I actually like came to the realization that I was a little bit in the depression zone, and I was like, okay, I'm really not happy. And as I was talking with Joe, I was already feeling a big relief. And as we were discussing what to do and what plan, like we always like to have our discussions and then like have a plan to improve it, because you know, if you're just complaining without actually having a plan to make things better is like pointless. So I was already feeling like relieved after that, but it was the first time that I thought, okay, I might have a problem after the birth, after this very hard postpartum time. I might be feeling things that I shouldn't be feeling.
And a traumatic birth, really, you have no time to even process it after.
So it was really the first time that was like, okay, maybe I should, you know, take some time. And that was the time that even it was Joe that suggested that I see a therapist. So in this one date, you know, we just talked everything. We were like, okay, I need this. Joe was like, you need a therapist, you know, you need to talk to someone and have some time to process this. We need to have time, we need to, you know,
we set up like a whole list of things we can do to improve our own like relationship and how things are working right now. And the therapy was one thing. The second thing that we said she needed was time to herself. So I arranged like 1 day per week when I would take Ivy to my parents and just take care of her at my parents' place or somewhere else, so she could stay at home and just like get things sorted in here.
Or that's where left, or just
because I was rest for a little bit.
Exhausted.
We set up monthly dates. Like we decided we're gonna do this at least once per month. We have to go out for a dinner like this to discuss our current state and what else we can improve. So that was another thing we started doing, and we really divided our sleep into shifts. And like I cannot recommend this more. So before we would just be sleeping and be like, oh, now you get up with her, now you get up with her, and oh no, but I'm tired, oh, but I'm tired too.
Guys, this causes arguments.
Such stupid one. You're both exhausted.
Arguments.
You're both sleep deprived. So obviously, like you're
like, you go for it was your time and it's your time.
I went the last time.
And this really causes, and that's normal. You are exhausted. You know, I still love Joe, but at that moment I was like,
and a sleep-deprived brain works differently. Everything you would think that you would never do, never say, you know, never like, think.
Obviously, we never crossed any point, any boundary. I don't think ever. It was very light, okay? It was like very...
But before we didn't argue at all, so this was
it was like a
new that we even are like slightly mean to each other at some
like,
points.
What? Can you be mean to me? Like, yes, I can. In the middle of the night, I can.
So we had so many different shifts because we would just change them as we saw was working better.
It was the progress
in general, it was like, I take care of Ivy between like 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Then from 2 a.m. we takes her to like 4 a.m. and then we swap again. And like every single night we would have some schedule that is like, we know who is responsible for her at this specific time of the night. Obviously, if something like major happened,
she was having a tantrum or something, the other person can't even sleep if she's having a tantrum.
So like it's pointless to even try. But this like set
really
time,
changed.
knowing that you know she's crying and you know, okay, this is this person. You don't have to like now be having a small argument over who's gonna get up now, because you know who is responsible for her
in this moment. And you take care of the baby.
It took away all the fights we had about
all the fights.
All of them.
So we still, till this day, she sleeps the whole night until like 5, 6-ish. But we still have shifts because obviously she sleeps in her bed, but she still like cries in the night or needs the pacifier or needs our hand. So and that's fine. We are very yeah, she's rocked to sleep, so we are very okay with that. We sleep at least. It's like
it's
a big
such
improvement.
a huge change for us.
Such a huge change, but we still have shifts, and we have like, you know, part of the night I do it, part of the night Joe does it. Every second morning we have to sleep in. So for example, today Joe slept in, tomorrow I will sleep in and I will have the morning. And
she wakes up at 5 a.m. so like one person really needs to sleep in.
And that changed our life completely, because before that we would just fight over who would take it, and we would end up, you know, both of us being awake most of the night, have like what, couple hours of sleep, if that. So it was terrible, and we really had this conversation we had in this first date was really like the turning point for us in our relationship. And you know, and to kind of like connect again and like understand that this is a person that is also parenting, that is also struggling. And Joe, even though she didn't have the birth and she wasn't pregnant, so obviously I carry all that, you know, tiredness from that time, but even though she didn't have that, she's also exhausted and tired, and she does everything for us. So, and she did most of the things postpartum in the first weeks because I couldn't. So it really gave us the moment to, you know, look at each other again for the first time almost.
And I think also understand that like you having a hard time is not a reflection of your partner not helping you enough, because I think it's easy to be like, oh, I am tired, and we taking it as I think you're not doing enough to let me rest, or the other way around. And I think it really gave us an opportunity to be like, the fact that I am tired doesn't mean that you're not doing enough for me to rest.
Exactly.
You know?
We were both doing our best.
Our best.
The best we
everything
could do.
we could.
It's just we were both exhausted as well. So, and it was good to see that, you know, we are both people, and sometimes we forget the other person is a person. You know, that the baby is a person. So it was good to connect with each other, to see really what we were struggling and to, you know, look at those beautiful eyes.
Just go out and have a date, you know, like this is something we haven't had
and
for a while.
And it was also good to know that, you know, it's not because we are falling out of love. We are still very much in love.
We just don't have time. It's even like the reverse of the time that we are frustrated that we don't have time to spend together. Not that we don't want to spend time together,
but that we want to spend together.
Another amazing thing that happened was Ivy started to sleep in her own bed. So like at 7 p.m. when we would put her down, we always had this 2 hours, because we got to sleep around 9 p.m. that we could like just cuddle, watch a movie every single day. Now we have this moment to ourselves for a few months now, I think, or maybe like 2 months.
2 months, don't exaggerate, but it has been
couple of months. To that we can just every single day have some time together, and this has been a game changer, really. So if you are in those first few months of your child not sleeping in their own bed, just hold on. It changes, you know, it's not like that forever. So you will get this time to yourselves every evening at some point. So
and just remember, this is temporary. Your baby will grow up, and you will have time
to enjoy this little contact naps as much as possible, because they just disappear, and then you really
will have time again for your partner. Like you will, you know, hopefully in our lives we will have loads and loads of like
even more
years that are just the two of us, and that we will have time for everything. And now the baby needs us, so like we are okay with that and we are accepting of that. But obviously everything has to have a balance, and we do need to put each other like first, and then we do need to put our love first, because our baby also needs parents that love each other.
And that leads us to the last thing that we've done, which is our family doesn't well, that's like regardless of anything else, our family doesn't really have time to like help us out regularly, like, you know, every single week, take Ivy for a few hours. So we didn't have ever that type of help. We were like alone on daily basis.
Some people do, and that's amazing.
Yeah, so we started looking for a nanny to take care of Ivy for a few hours once per week, every week, or for like weekend, few hours on, you know, Saturday, Sunday when I'm not working, so we can have this time and go out and have a date. And instead of having one monthly date like we had so far,
a weekly date.
We have a weekly date, and that like really improved things. Like, I don't even think we had a weekly date before Ivy, and now we just
have, and it's so good. It's
so in a second we're gonna go for our date after finishing this video, and
Ivy is now on a walk with the nanny, and the nanny is perfect. We love the nanny, and
she's really amazing, and we really trust her, which is also amazing because at the beginning we were concerned we wouldn't. So
and they are here, so I guess this is it.
Have a magical day.
Bye.